Glitch Paradox is unfiltered. Parental discretion is strongly advised.
RP keys on the beat. Flying saucers.
Glitch Paradox. Glitch Paradox.
Our minds should be open on all subjects.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of the Glitch Paradox podcast. I'm your host, Big Rich, along with Mad Squirrel, back again like we never left, and to get into some stuff tonight, talk about some good old censorship that's plaguing us this day and age. A lot of censorship. I'm gonna touch base on some little, notice some stuff we've seen, little earth changes, little bit of earth changes, and whatever else we can think of. Because it has been an interesting past week. I know it's the start of a new week and all that, but yeah, it still has been pretty interesting. So
Yeah.
ready to touch base on it, and before we started, we were complaining about Zima. I don't drink, but we were just complaining about how and why it lasted so long, and
We
who the
started
heck
talking.
was drinking Zimas.
We started talking about club soda because
Yeah.
Rich brought up like the first time as a kid he tried club soda,
hmm
and we both agreed that club soda looks really tasty when you see it in the bottle. You're like, oh, that looks good.
And with me, like I said, this is when like Big Slams first came about, the 1 liters,
Hmm.
and when it first was getting popular and everything. And I looked at it. The one I got, it was in a blue, had a blue cover, blue label or whatever.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to think of which brand it was that had. Was it RC Club Soda? I forgot. Anyway, I was out there, hot summer day out here in Phoenix, thinking I had me a nice cold soda. And this, me being dumb at the time, didn't know what club soda, because I don't think I've ever had club soda previously. So I'm thinking like, oh man, a new soda, and I'm thinking it's gonna taste like Sprite or taste like Crystal Pepsi or whatever. And
Lies.
yeah, I drank that, and I was just, how like you spent some money on something and it just ruined your day because it wasn't at all what you expected. And
Yep.
it was like, and you were like, I can't believe I wasted money on this. Or I wasted my time on this. That's exactly how I felt about club
Club
soda.
soda.
So yeah, I was
Hmm.
like, yeah, I became an anti-club soda person ever since. And I know
Yeah.
people, will mix it with their drinks or whatever, but I don't drink, so I don't know. But I do know, people mix it up a little bit
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever. But you know what? I'll tell you what, that wasn't the only. I think I forgot there was like an energy drink a while back that I tried that was just horrible, and
Yeah.
I
There's
can't
certain
think of the name.
ones.
Oh, Jolt. It was the Jolt energy drink. Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I drank. I was upset about that.
The club soda thing, man.
Yeah.
That is that. Yeah, It looks really delicious, and then you have it just alone, meaning no mixers, nothing. You just
hmm
pretty much it's like liquid acid. You know,
hmm
it's tart. It's nasty. I get it. It's a mixer, but when you're young,
hmm
you think, oh, it's all bubbly and shit. Like you were saying, it looks like soda. It looks like it's gonna be
Yeah.
refreshing and shit. Lies,
You try it and you
lies.
just and I know we've all had something, food or drink that we thought was going to be delicious or taste great, and then we just so irritated and upset.
Yeah.
I would be like that now if it was something where I spent the last of my change or something on a drink or food that I thought was gonna taste good, then I'd
Oh
be
yeah.
even more upset. I was like, I could have spit that on something else, but you know, live and
It,
learn.
yep. That's the sad part,
I don't think
kind of.
I don't think I've ever had a club soda since or tried it mixed with. I don't think that's happened ever since. So I've definitely been anti club soda. But you know, it is what it is. Live and learn. Same thing with Zima. Even though I don't drink, I don't know how it lasted so long, but obviously it was popular
Zima,
to
man.
to some
Fuck Zima.
hipsters. Yeah, it was a popular drink in the 90s. I guess it was a malt alternative to malt liquor. So they
Hmm.
call it a malt alternative.
Blech.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Oh
what we
God. It is
I
so
get
gross,
I can
dude.
only imagine since I don't drink, but I can only imagine after my experience with club soda, I can only imagine if I was a drinker how I would have felt about Zima.
Oh God, dude. I was telling Rich. There was this okay, so I went to a bar. I'm not going to name where. It was a very
Mhm.
foo-foo bar. This was in New York City, and I just wanted to get a beer. Okay, I wanted a beer, so I was like about to turn 22 or something. So I went in there and got ID'd. Went inside, got excited because I thought I'm gonna have a beer and I'm gonna chill, right? And
Yeah.
I go in there and it's all these people standing around with wine and everyone's foo-foo. I'm like, and I'm dressed too, because there's a dress code and shit, as if it matters. But anyways, so I go in, I look to see if they had beer. All they had was wine and Zima. I was like, what the fuck was this? You know, it was like the worst thing. Bunch of yuppies walking around. Oh yes, Muffin and Buffy and I went on the yacht. Whoa! You know,
Yeah.
it was so ridiculous. And it was all the everyone's standing around and they got those
Mhm.
round couches, loungers and shit. I'm like, I don't belong here. So I left. I only lasted maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And the bouncer, I had talked to him when I was going in because he was looking at my ID because the IDs in Arizona are like they don't expire until we're in our 60s, right?
Yeah, we're old by the time our
Right.
license expired.
And that's how he and I ended up talking. He's like, what the hell? You had never seen that before. So, of course, when you travel with that kind of ID, you always get a little bit of hazing, because people
Yeah,
will be like,
yeah,
oh, that's not real. I'm like, get on, man, just scan it.
yeah.
So, anyways, as I was leaving, I only lasted about 10 minutes because I was meeting family in there and stuff. And I was like, I'm gonna
Mhm.
go find a beer. Fuck this shit. Because there was a bar upstairs, another bar. So I was going back into the hotel for the bar because we stayed in Times Square. So
Oh, okay.
and so I was on my way out, and he's like, "Oh, you didn't last long." I said, "Oh, they got his fucking beer and Zima," and he started laughing. Right? I said, "I don't
Uh,
belong here." He's like, "They got beer upstairs." I'm like, "It better be on tap. I'm not playing this shit anymore." That was also the same place. I met Magic Johnson there. That was
oh
really nice.
wow.
Yeah, he was very nice. Put up with my drunk ass. So
Uh,
I wasn't the obnoxious drunk. So God bless that. Um,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, it was
No,
cool
no. So
though.
no to Zima,
No
no
to
Zima,
Zima. Don't do
and
that
club
to
soda.
humanity. Oh, fuck club soda. It's only good as a mixer. I give it that. I've had it with mixed drinks, and I was like, okay, I can't taste the club soda at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It- but anyway,
Oh,
oh my
anyway,
God.
how was your weekend? You get into some mischief? I know, you
Oh
know.
man. Small Squirrel started virtual schooling on Monday slash today. And
Oh,
it went
okay.
today was just like a very intro start to get them all prepped all week long, to get them in
Hmm.
the zone prepped and going, and then they take off after that and start their classes full time next week. But this week's like prep week, so they're doing their
Yeah,
testing
yeah.
and things like that to see where they're at. But yeah, it's about it here.
That's
It's pretty busy, but not too busy. It's just have to each their own. But how are you guys doing there?
yeah. No, it's no. I definitely understand that. No, it's you know, this school that my youngest Ariana goes to.
Hmm.
It's this, it's a STEM school and everything, and so far see, my youngest is like me in a sense that she don't like people. or she don't have a tolerance for small talk and all of that,
Right.
or people who she gets annoyed easily with people. So I'm like, yeah, you're definitely me. You're definitely me because she tells me about this. So there's this one girl that when she first went there, that's in her class, that she'll sit with at lunchtime.
hmm
And she was telling me, she was like, "Dad, this girl's so annoying." I'm like, "Why? I thought she said she was cool." She was, "Yeah, I thought so too." Until we were sitting there eating lunch, and then she was asking me just stupid questions. I was like what?" And she was like, "Yeah, girl's like, have you kissed a boy yet?" And Ariana's like, "No." She was like, "You haven't?" It
Oh
got into the.
God.
She was like, "I first kissed a boy in seventh grade," and Ariana looked at her crazy, like, "I wasn't thinking about no boys in seventh grade. What's wrong with you?" So this girl was like, "Oh wow, you need to open up." I'm like, Ariana's like, "No, I don't. I need to focus on school. I ain't worried about chasing no boys." So she's already annoyed with this girl because all this girl talks about is dudes and all this sort of stuff.
Ah, that
And
little girl is
Ariana,
gonna.
yeah, yeah, and I was like, "You already." She was like, "Dad, I don't even, I'm not even trying to, I see her as an associate, but that's it." I'm like, "That's good." We'll see. Ariana's strong-minded. You ain't gonna get her into doing nothing crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So she's already just like, I'm already done with this girl. And
Oh yeah.
so yeah, she just whatever this girl talks about just goes through one ear and out the other. And then she said there's this other girl that talks too much. Like she just irritated. She don't like people. She is just not. She is a loner like me so much. It is just funny how I see that in my daughter, my youngest, where she's just like she don't want to be bothered with people. Usually you get like that when you get older. Like that's how I am now. Or half the time I don't want to be bothered with people. But
Right.
she's already like that now. She's gonna be 15 in November. But other than that, she's doing good so far. Straight A's at the school, and she's been doing her volleyball practice and everything, and getting ready for her first game next week at the school. But you know what is great? Like I don't know. Like with sports, you have to pay a certain amount of
Oh,
money for high
right.
school sports.
Yep.
Usually, it's like $50. This school, you pay $100 for them to be on
Whoa.
each sport. And
What the hell?
she's a dual sport athlete. So she volleyball, and then when softball season starts up, she's gonna be on the softball team.
Mm,
So I'm like, man. But anyway, yeah, she's doing it, and of course Tatiana, junior in high school, and she tried out for the team. The varsity team didn't make it, but she's going to be going to games with them as the manager and all that. So the coach was just like, keep training, keep trying. So she's just going to keep working at her craft and all of that, and
good.
and so I want to put her on a club team. Um, but we'll get to that point. But no, other than that, I was chilling, uh, catching up on shows and stuff over the weekend, watching some preseason football because I needed a football fix so bad. I was so glad there was some football on. So yeah.
Beef invite you
Oh
over?
yeah, we've been talking, we've been chatting it up because the
Oh
draft
my
is
God.
I think it's on the 30th that we're doing
It's
the
coming.
fantasy draft. So yeah, we've been all chatting it up. We all happy. We just sit there like yes. So can't
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah.
Can't
There.
wait.
That's the big group because it started one and that it had a limitation on the seats
Hmm.
because he did
Yeah.
it through the NFL's website and he's like, this sucks. And so he moved
Hmm.
it over back to the app that he used
Yeah.
to use anyway. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
So I know that PB's in there.
Hmm.
Uh, God, Daryl, did he go in there? I don't know if Daryl went in there. I don't know. He's never
I
played
think so.
fantasy football.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's in there. He was just talking today about something.
Oh, okay. Yes. Com Squirrel's in there. My bad. And his sister, and then I think that's it. I think there might be one other person. I don't remember. That's how bad it is. But I remember the invites because I was like, make sure you invite Rich. And the Beef's
Hmm.
like, oh yeah, I got it.
Oh
He's
yeah,
like,
yeah. No,
he's
we
like,
all we
he's
all
like,
ready.
right, because he was trying to get everybody into one. So he was
Hmm.
having a bit of that. So I was like, enjoy. My
But no, no,
God.
no. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I know that we're gonna. touch base on the censorship and stuff like that, but we kind of wanted to talk about some of the happenings over the past week, earth changes and whatnot. The latest being the earthquake, 7.2 earthquake in Haiti,
Yeah.
which was the last update. Which is, I mean, it just seems like it's like happening all the time in Haiti. They get these just devastating earthquakes and crazy weather all the time over there. And this one, I was looking on CNN, and they're saying the updated total was over 1,200 people that died so far from this earthquake. And I guess they got a tropical storm coming in, or depression. Did it already
Yes.
come in, or is it coming in?
It's coming in right
Oh,
now.
okay.
Right now currently, but this article is from today, the 16th of August, and it's from the Center for Disaster Philanthropy. Oh, excuse my language. We'll just say the
Philanthropy.
see.
Philanthropy. Jeez.
I yay! I screwed everyone up today. My God.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, this website is for CDP's website. Talking about informing about natural disasters. So just before 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, August 14th, a magnitude 7.2 earthquake struck the southwest of Haiti in the mountains between the Niepce Department and Sud Department. This earthquake occurred at a depth of only 6.2 miles, which is a critical because the shallow earthquakes usually cause the most damage. So there's the little bit of a map here showing the epicenter, which is far out there on one of the peninsulas there of the island. Oh my God. So, for comparison, the catastrophic 2010 earthquake took place approximately 46.6 miles west of this earthquake and was a 7.0 that occurred at a depth of 8.1 miles. So, as far as depth goes, there. As a result,
Oh
the
wow.
damages from this earthquake have the potential to be similar to 2010. However, on a smaller scale due to more rural geography and smaller population at the actual epicenter. Less than a million people live within 31 miles of the epicenter, and about 234,000 live within 9 miles. There has been several aftershocks recorded since the earthquake, all between 4.0 and 5.8, according to the USGS. These are expected to lessen over the week following the earthquake, so they're still getting aftershocks. Haiti is expecting an almost direct hit from the tropical depression Grace within 48 hours of the earthquake. As of the morning of August 16th, Grace has been reduced to a tropical depression, but there is still a risk of debris flows or landslides, as well as flooding. So the path for Grace is expected to bring the storm to the island of Hispaniola, shared by the Dominican Republic and Haiti by Monday, and over top of Haiti by Monday or Tuesday. This convergence of disasters has the potential to cause significant increase in deaths. International humanitarian and response teams will be faced with the challenge of assessing the country because of the storm, and local responders will be faced with life-threatening conditions while trying to conduct rescues. So it is, and what's even more insane that we mentioned earlier, we were talking about this in passing before we started, was that the president was assassinated, Haiti's president, last
Mhm.
month in July 7th.
Mhm.
So that I mean, they're still trying to get clarifications because there was assets here in Florida specifically that were associated with this, and it's been a mess. So right now, as a result, Haiti is experiencing unrest and fear of politically motivated arrests, potential crackdown on political opponents of the current administration, which is being overseen by caretaker government led by Prime Minister Ariel Henry. So it is poor Haiti, honestly. It's like, it's just, there's so much upheaval and so many problems there. And I hope for the people that they get some kind of stability. But
Yeah,
this mm-mm,
definitely.
earthquake,
It's
mm-mm.
yeah, it's a lot that they're dealing with, and then to have like that on top of what's going on. It's something else. It is. It really is. Um, before I share this, what's going on with Indonesia, I wanted to show this real quick clip. Um, and all it is just a daytime. I guess you want to call it a fireball flyby.
Ooh,
That they've seen in Northern Ireland. So I'm gonna share that here in just a second.
that's
Um,
wild.
yeah, interesting nevertheless.
Hmm.
So let's
Hey, I'm
see
all
here.
about those random, interesting things.
Yeah.
You know, like even if we don't know exactly what it's about, it's always interesting to have that look at it. Let's take a look.
Yeah. Let's take a look, see what we got here.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so that was in Northern Ireland apparently. Um,
Did
but
they have
yeah,
any information about it or no?
no, just I tried to see if I could find a article on it or anything, but I haven't found anything yet on it. But yeah, all I was known is that it was a fireball flyby. It looks like it was early evening. That's what it looked like from the image. Where it was they seen that flyby. But there was I before I get on it, let me supposedly there was a three large meteors that flew over Maldonado,
Mm-hmm.
Uruguay. So, oh yeah, I got it right the first time. But yeah,
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah.
yeah. So that was something that was interesting too. That I guess somebody was driving and they seen that.
That's interesting. Hold on.
Yeah,
Boom, 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 boom. Ooh,
yeah, pretty crazy. So,
what? So they were driving down. It looks like a highway,
yeah,
freeway,
and then you're seeing these three meteors that's flying. I don't know what direction they are going, but yeah,
highway
passing
maybe.
by as they're yeah. It looks like they're at an airport of some sort.
Yeah, I was gonna say those flickering lights. At
Yeah,
first, you're like, Is it a?" That's interesting. That's really
yeah,
weird.
very
Um,
interesting. That's the
I
first time I've seen like a group of three of them like that. That's pretty crazy.
I did find really quick just about the Northern Ireland fireball. I found this on. It kind of at least it's around the same time as the meteor shower that's expected, but
Gotcha.
they don't believe it's associated though. So that's one thing that the article breaks down. This is from, it looks like Wales Online. So
Okay.
um, they say mysterious fireball spotted in the sky above Northern Ireland. Um, This is the fireball was seen at around the same time as the Perseid meteor shower, which is expected over Northern Ireland, but it is not believed to be a part of it. A fireball was spotted in the sky above Northern Ireland yesterday, shocking the locals who believed it may have been a meteor. The phenomenon was spotted by James McRobert and Nikita Mulligan while they were sitting in their home in Bangbridge, County Down, last night at around 9:20 p.m. August 9th. So at first, the pair thought it might have been part of the meteor shower, but they soon realized it seemed way too big to be a part of that. And that's according to Belfast Lab, which they have a link to that. James said, I was sitting on the sofa when Nikita shouted at me to come and take a look. She'd seen something in the sky. I wasn't sure what she meant at first, but when I saw it, I was shocked. Yeah, no joke, guy. No joke. Um, so they're not really sure, but that's, yeah. So it was the same meteor shower. That's just a clip of the video here. Again, but it's just this very long streaking thing that you'd shown earlier. That's wild though. So yeah, that's the. I'll have the
Yeah,
article for this in the description as well as the links. So the video is linked in here. Helpful, very helpful from YouTube.
and I don't
But
know. I think I sent it to you, but I don't think I've shared it. It was the video of the strange colors in the sky in China, I believe. Did I show that to you?
no, let me
Well,
take
if
a look.
not, here we go.
This is in China, right?
Yeah.
The
Ah,
hell
what
is
the heck?
security? No,
Yeah. Oh well.
denied.
Yeah, just like
They
nah,
don't want you
son.
to see their pretty skies. How dare they?
But yeah. So in Indonesia, when I was gonna initially talk about Indonesia, I guess they're monitoring. I don't know if it erupted already or it's about to. Um,
Okay. So we're Indonesia. Is
oh
this
no, it
another one?
erupted. It did erupt today. Yeah. Well, I
Oh,
guess
it did. Another one.
earlier today. Yeah, earlier Monday. Um, so yeah, this happened in oh geez, Yo, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. And I get apparently it's their most active volcano erupted Monday with its biggest lava flow in months, sending a river of lava and searing gas clouds flowing more than 2 miles down its slopes on the densely populated island of Java.
Mm-mm.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
well,
wow,
that's a spicy meatball.
yeah.
Oh my God.
So it seems like we can't even go a week anymore, or heck, let it be even a couple of days without
I know.
these earth changes picking up.
And you know what's weird is when we have earth changes,
Hmm.
there is this belief, and I agree, because we're so connected to, let's say, example, the moon, right? And how the
Yeah.
moon's tides affect a personality. Full moons, it stirs up people a little bit, if you will.
Hmm.
We're very organic. I like how humans act. We're not susceptible to nature. And
Hmm.
here we are. But I
Exactly.
do think it's interesting that you have so much unrest, generally speaking, at a time with so many significant earth changes that are consistent. Now, earth changes are going to be a natural cycle of the planet, and we can all kind of
Right.
agree on that, right? But
Right.
at the same time, it cycles. So sometimes these cycles, it's like it closes the window between events where it's nonstop and it's very aggressive things. So that could be earthquakes, that could be hurricanes, or it could be plagues upon the earth, if you will. Um, and it affects human behavior. And I think it's interesting because there's so much unrest, there's so much instability, and it's gone on significantly now. We're going into year two. A lot of people are weird. Like things are tense already, but
Yeah.
it's just so much worse. Like it feels like, I mean, out of the in our areas especially, like, depending on where you live, obviously it's going to be different for everyone. But down in South Texas, it feels all kinds of what's the word? Tense. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone's a little tense at the store, and in our area, we're expecting maybe to see what might be Hurricane Grace roll in here
Yeah.
towards maybe the later half of the week into the weekend. Who knows? It depends what she decides to do. Um, she has to cut through possibly the Yucatan Peninsula down there in Mexico and in the Gulf of Mexico specifically. So we'll see what she does, if she stalls, if she speeds up, if she builds
Hmm.
or maybe she might disintegrate. Hurricanes are kind of what's the word? Moody bitches.
Yeah.
So we really don't know, but the tenseness is in the air, and there's a lot of, I don't know, the energy's all kinds of screwed up, and it's not just with COVID going on, it's everything. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's we have the Afghanistan crap going on. Oh Lord.
Yeah. That very interesting. That was and it was crazy because I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the videos of um
Mm,
the locals fleeing. They're at
mhm.
the airport clinging onto the military planes and everything to the point where the plane took off and there were still people on there, and there was footage unfortunately of people falling off the plane. You know,
Mm.
I believe 5 people died at that airport from people falling off the plane, and then whatever other injuries during that rush of locals at that airport. Um, but yeah, I think in all, we're just coming across some very interesting times, and we did say, these next few months back at the beginning of July, we did say these next few months should be very interesting, and it
Right.
seems to be so far on the money. It just in a month and a half, a lot of craziness has already happened. Um,
Yeah.
so ain't no telling what's going to happen the rest of the year. But you know, what I think me and you, as people who we consider ourselves researchers and everything, the biggest irritation now more than anything is, a lot of this censorship that's going on, and it's not just started happening recently. I mean, it's been going on for a while now, but
Oh
now
yeah.
more than ever. And when you hit on specific topics, and it just have to be about COVID. It could be about, there's been things that they've blocked. There's people, plenty of channels and stuff I've followed where they shut down their channels, YouTube channels and everything, because of information that was being put out.
Hmm.
And it was always the same thing. Oh, it's against our community standards, guidelines, blah 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 blah. And it wasn't like these channels were putting out, explicit, graphic, horrible things. We're
Right.
not talking about like the dark web or something. This was just, you
Right.
know, people putting out information. There,
Absolutely.
yeah, and me and you both had to deal with that.
Hmm.
And I know recently I was trying to upload some stuff on my story on Instagram, and they're like, "Nah, son, nah, ah, ah," you know. So, it's getting to a point where people can't even put out certain information anymore because it gets taken down, or you're
Hmm.
violating some kind of standards, or whatever the case is. But now, this day and age, is on top of the censorship. And I'm not going to use the word soft or anything when people have gotten, no, I don't want to use that, because I don't think this day and age soft is the right word.
Correct.
um I want to say that, because you can easily say people just don't put up with stuff anymore that, like, our generation put up with or dealt with or whatever, or how,
Where yeah.
nevertheless, you know
I would say that each generation has a different layer of skin, meaning
yeah,
the thickness of their skin or the sensitivity of their skin. And
exactly.
I think that it can be depleted with each generation, or it can be increased with every generation. I think it has a lot to do
Hmm.
with emotional maturity, emotional
Hmm.
intelligence. Um, not some and it really it has a lot to do with it, 'cause some of the dumbest shit I've heard come out of people's mouths are people who claim to be intellectual,
Yeah,
and then turn around and you have the same kind of nonsense on the other side of the spectrum too. But
exactly.
one of the things I wanted to share, since we were talking about this censorship issue, this was a bulletin from Homeland Security, United States Department of Homeland Security, and it
Hmm.
was a National Terrorism Advisory System bulletin that was released on February, August 13th. And it goes on to talk about the summary of terrorism threat to the U.S. homeland. And, you know, there is a lot of groups that they're focusing on here. It's kind of insane. I think they're prepping for September, because September 11th would be the 20th anniversary.
Hmm.
And also, it talks about other threats and other known issues. And it says here, summary of terrorism threat to the U.S. homeland. The Secretary of Homeland has issued a new National Terrorism Advisory, which is an NTAS bulletin, regarding the current heightened threat environment across the United States. The Homeland continues to face a diverse and challenging threat environment leading up to and following the 20th anniversary of September 11, 2001 attacks, as well as religious holidays, as we assess, could serve as a catalyst for acts of targeted violence. These threats include those posted by domestic terrorists, individuals, and groups engaged in grievance based violence, and those inspired or motivated by foreign terrorists and other malign foreign influences. These actors are increasingly exploiting online forums to influence and spread violent extremist narratives and promote violent activities such as threats that are also exacerbated by impacts of the ongoing global pandemic, including grievances over public health safety measures and perceived government restrictions. I think that's an interesting comment there.
Yeah. So it's, to me, it's basic. It's at the point now where it's like, they don't want you questioning anything. You question something,
Mhm.
oh, hey, you're going to be labeled as a terrorist. And you know what? This is nothing new. Where people have questioned the government. This has been going on
Mhm.
for years.
Right.
So, to sit there and label somebody who questions this whole, and it's not even about questioning so much the virus itself, but more of what they're doing for these restrictions and everything. And people are questioning the vaccine, and they have every right to question it, just like
Right.
anybody has the right to take it. And so because
Mhm.
someone is questioning it, it says, hey, you guys watch the news every day or whatever, and they're telling you this. Why don't you look this way? Look at what these people are saying. And it's like and it's not just some random people coming out saying. You have accredited doctors and stuff
Right.
that I've watched talk about that's like against the vaccine. And so it's like people
And
don't
you
even.
have
I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, but it's true. You have voices on both ends here. So you have
Exactly.
people that are out there going giving the information. They're accredited
Hmm.
doctors, meaning they're
Hmm.
promoting the vaccine because this is what they've seen on their research
Hmm.
or um, the studies that they have reviewed, right?
Hmm.
And also the information the CDC has supplied them.
Hmm.
And then you have a set of accredited doctors on the adjacent side who
Hmm.
don't agree with it and have their research and backings for the information. Um, I
And
think
it's
the
like
problem is
it's become it's like so one-sided
bingo, yeah,
where yeah.
and anybody who wants to even have the conversation, we're not allowed to
Hmm. Well,
because
look
God,
at
you know.
you look at what uh, the media is doing.
Hmm.
They're having people turn against others, just like they. And this is the whole division tactic is nothing new, but they're having, as far as the masses, turn against each other. And I've sat back and me, I'm a person that observes. I sit back and I just observe. I don't say
Hmm.
much. I'll sit back and I'll take mental notes of everything and just put it in
Hmm.
my head. And I'll just sit back. Like if there was a big old riot or people just going crazy or something, I'm the guy just sitting on the balcony eating popcorn, just looking at everything like, wow, man, these people are crazy. That's me. That's the kind of person I am. So I've seen these comments of, and I've seen it go both ways, but I have not seen so much negative comments and stuff towards people who have every right to question what's going on.
Well, no, it's true. I mean, there's everyone is allowed to have their opinions, their
Hmm.
educated decisions.
Hmm.
Um, as a female, yeah, I'm gonna pull the female card so everyone have a seat. Um, but as a female, I've been yelling my body, my choice for how long? I
Yeah,
hate the fact
exactly.
that it's even politicized. I hate the fact that
Exactly.
my personal life or my personal decisions are politicized to begin with. So when I
Hmm.
see this happening, and then people going after and labeling
Hmm.
and threats and them like listening to CNN or listening to a
Yeah.
commentary piece or reading an article um,
Hmm.
from any of the mainstream media right now about
Hmm.
anybody that declines to take a vaccine
Hmm.
because they don't feel that it's safe, because they
Hmm.
want to make their own decisions for themselves and follow the rules, okay, meaning
Yeah,
use common sense. um,
exactly.
I'm not one of these idiots that goes out and goes after anybody for that decision, whether it's for good, for whether you're pro or against anything. I'm not going to attack you for your stance, your personal stance, because different strokes for different folks. But you need to be
Exactly.
safe. You need to
Yeah,
be
and
safe about it.
well, I think me and you definitely agree that everybody has their choice as far as what they want to do. We're in agreement with that. And we also
Right.
agree. I never understood this is the way that, and the thing that gets me is you're automatically labeled an anti-vaxxer if you don't agree with this particular vaccine.
Mm, correct.
For
Yeah.
example, if you're a person that you've had all your other vaccines or whatever, and but this one you're just like, hey, I'm not really feeling this. I'm not really in agreement with this one. I'm not sure about this one. I don't feel comfortable taking this one. You're automatically put in that anti-vaxxer category. And people don't want to hear it half the time. They don't want to
Correct.
hear it. Here you go.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And this is not the first time some scientists who thought outside the. I mean, hell, there's a period of time you think outside the box or something, you're considered a witch. So I mean, it or a demon or whatever the case. You get stoned or hung for whatever, thinking outside the box. So it just gets me that 1 minute, this is what gets me. 1 minute, everybody could be against the government when it comes to something.
Hmm.
They could be like, oh, I don't trust the government. I don't trust it. But all of a sudden now you trust the government.
See, here's the thing. Like I was thinking about this exactly earlier, is I was
Hmm.
listening to Biden's little speech that he did about Afghanistan and
Yeah.
how poorly this was executed. And it was. Make no
Hmm.
mistake, it was absolutely. And he sounded like George Bush,
Yeah.
George Bush Jr. Okay,
Hmm.
and when he was talking to his neocon bullshit, and
Hmm.
sitting up there rephrasing everything. This is much worse, I think, than Saigon. I'm gonna say that I believe that pretty strongly. People keep comparing what is happening in Afghanistan to what happened in Saigon, and that I would say that's almost apples to oranges because Afghanistan's going to have far longer, harder international ramifications. And China was saying how they're more than happy to recognize the Taliban as the new government, uh, you know, for Afghanistan. So, and that's a recent article I picked, I read on the Guardian. I was like, oh my, that escalated quickly. And that was before they officially had captured Kabul. But it's really sad because I don't support what George Bush did at all. And people
Right.
wanted to have a short memory of it. Oh, well, he's our president. We should support him. I'm like, where were all these people? I mean, I don't. These are salesmen that represent our country.
Exactly.
Okay, these are salesmen. They're selling
Exactly.
us on ideas and plans that other presidents that came before them have had a part of. I mean, we could look at what Biden did here and then say, well, he was with Obama when Obama did Syria. We could say that.
Hmm.
And we could also say, oh, look at the association of Bush and Biden. I mean,
Hmm.
everything that Biden said was very Bushism. I was like, oh my.
People
If he,
forget about the
man,
crime bill he pushed so many years ago. So I mean,
oh yeah, that's short memory.
yeah, exactly.
And that was when? That was in the 2000 early no 90s. Was it 1990s or 2000s that he did that? I can't remember.
It was in the 90s.
Okay, I thought so. But that's when he was coherent. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, but I mean, when you look
People
at that
forget,
though,
like they really forget, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, and we talked about this. They fall for the same okey doke every single time.
and I
Every
don't
single
get it.
time.
Is it just
I'm
the
like, you would
lack of
think,
backbone?
yeah, you would think by now people would be like, you know what, these presidents, all these politicians, they full of shit. You would think that, but
Hmm.
what every time it goes, one ear and out the other, and here we are again.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden now, the government, they're looking out for your best interest. Yeah, the government, yeah, y'all need to do this and get on this vaccine and do this and all. Yeah, and it's like, look, how about everybody worry about themselves and go on about their business? Okay, that's how about we do that? And
and
there.
and use the safety measures. Okay, here's the thing:
Mhm.
is that I hate the fact that it's become like more and more divided within each of the groups. Like when they were telling people before, um, to well, if you get vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask anymore.
Mhm.
Every part of my head went, "What the fuck? Who said this?" And I'm listening. It's Fossey. I'm like, Fauci, whatever. I don't care. He's a little man. God
Yeah.
bless the little man, right? But
Yeah.
he was saying all this, and I'm like, that's bullshit. And I know it was more of a carrot being dangled in front of people so they would go get vaccinated than it was actually science. Because in the end, look where we're at right now. It is so bad in our area that I am expecting a lockdown any fucking day because it is that bad, Rich. It's real in our area, and it's not just because of where we're located down south in Texas, but it's because people were going without masks because they were told it was okay. Hey, go to Vegas. Yeah, go to Disneyland. That sounds safe. Don't wear your mask. Don't worry, it's cool. In a way, it's like, listen, just wear the fucking mask. It's not a big deal. It really isn't. A pandemic doesn't go away in a year. It takes a long time for it to cycle through with every mutation or variant that goes through the system. You can only hope eventually you start to produce the proper amount of antibodies. So just be prepared for, if you've had a vaccine already, be prepared to have a booster, especially because there's so many breakthroughs. Because how a virus works is if it can't open the door, it's going to break a window. Then it's going to break through your back door. It's always going to find a way to get into your immune system if it's a mutation variant. Eventually, your system learns how to work out, you know, whatever that is, a flu, a cold, I don't believe the COVID virus is the same as the flu. It hits everyone stronger or less than. It just depends on your current health conditions and pre-existing, right? But I went on a tangent. But you know what I'm saying? It's a lack of responsibility and accountability, and people feel like they have to have somebody telling them to do something.
Like I said, we're all adults, for the most
Mhm.
part, and we all know what works and what, for us and what doesn't. So I think as long as everybody respects that, just like any other situation where your body more than the next person or anybody else, um, you know what works for you. So
Right.
it's just the thing that just gets us is when there's different perspectives of things, and that's the stuff that gets
Mhm.
censored and everything like that. It's like like I said earlier, they don't want you to think for yourself, and they will turn people against you because if you want to say, okay, the 1% rule the earth, the 4% are the puppets, 90% are the people that are asleep, or 95% and 5% are the ones that's trying to wake everybody up, so that 1%
Right.
is going to keep that 4% to continue to have the 90% root against you or go against you. So that's just kind of how I look at it if we're looking at numbers.
Yeah, it's true. Like this, what's on the screen right now is a document from the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency here in the United States, and it's talking about we're in this together. Disinformation stops with you. So this is a little pamphlet that they have made here. It's like 3 pages long, but disinformation and COVID-19, how state and local officials can respond. And it says misinformation. What kind? What are the different kinds of false information? And this is a whole toolkit. Okay, this toolkit is intended to be used by state, local, tribal, and territorial officials. COVID 19 is and will continue to be a threat to the public health. Throughout the COVID 19 pandemic, disinformation, much of it produced and amplified by foreign actors, oh God, has consistent has consisted of false treatment and prevention measures, God, why can't I talk today? Uh,
Substantiated
Thank
rumors. There
you.
you go.
See, today's that day for me. I'm pulling me a Lee, which is Lee General Zod. Anyway, regarding the origin of the virus and more. As such, it is imperative that state and local officials continually convey timely, trusted, and verified COVID 19 details and developments to their constituents to avert a vacuum of credible information which can be exploited for misuse as disinformation by bad actors. Oh my.
Bad actors, huh? It's funny how they're
Oh,
using. Never mind. But
military
yeah,
terms. Oh my.
yeah.
Oh no. But this is a whole thing. It talks about misinformation, which is, and this says misinformation is false, but not created or shared with the intention of causing harm. Mal, mal malinformation is based on fact, but used out of context to mislead, harm, or manipulate. Disinformation is deliberately created to mislead, harm, or manipulate a person, social group, organization, or country. All three are harmful, but disinformation is particularly a source of concern. In February, the report by the WHO, the World Health Organization, officials concluded from their report that the term infodemic is to describe the overabundance of information and false information that has arisen in conjunction with the COVID 19 pandemic. State and local government officials should combat ongoing campaigns aimed at undermining the ability of governments to respond to the COVID 19 pandemic. State level officials should also remind citizens to remain vigilant in their online activities, especially during this time of unprecedented teleworking. virtual education classes, and online personal information gathering regarding the COVID-19 pandemic. So this says rely on trusted sources, which on here it says it's going to be the CDC, your local and state and local health officials. Also also the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency. Now that's important because when I think I need credible information, I think CISA every time. Anyway, think before you link. Slow down. Don't immediately click to share posts, memes, videos, or other content you see online. Some of the most damaging information spreads wildly via shared posts. Check your sources before sharing. Be careful what you post. The information you share online could be misunderstood or repurposed via manipulation. Do a privacy check on your social media accounts and make sure you're not sharing content broadly that you mean only for close family members and friends. Be aware that agents or disinformation agents of disinformation, oh man, often steal identities of real people, profile photos, and other information. Be wary of manipulative content. Agents of disinformation are known to create or repurpose emotional videos and photos and to use sensational terms to divide us. Be especially careful of content that attempts to make people angry or sad or create division. Don't become a victim of COVID-19 related scams. Be wary of dishonest solicitations designed to take your money and gather your personal information. And they have a link on this. I'll have this linked in the description box. So these are their little how to's. But what's really interesting here is it does do a little bit of a breakdown of how to identify misinformation that takes away from anything that's outside of the mainstream narrative, right? Um, just being honest. But there's a
Mm-hmm.
very interesting part here. What can our state and local officials tell their constituents about stopping disinformation? It says core messaging should emphasize that we're all in this together and that the disinformation stops with you. The basic tips to include in this are rely on trusted sources such as the CDC and your health department for situational updates on COVID 19 and stay at home guidelines. Rely on state and local health officials. Think twice before sharing online content. Be careful about posting personal information. Be on the lookout for content that seems manipulative or overly emotional. And then the last one is report scams to appropriate federal agencies such as the Federal Trade Commission or state consumer protection agencies. Now, the one thing that stuck out to me was be on the lookout for content that seems manipulative or overly emotional. Now, I can understand the context of that. I've seen it. But at the same time, I think I've seen it on the other side of the information alignment too.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
I have not seen them work so hard, the government in general work so hard
mhm,
at stopping quote unquote disinformation. Has there been a time prior to
mm,
this where they've worked like overtime
oh
to
man, I'll
shut
I'll be
people
honest.
down?
I think Iraq was the last time I saw this,
Hmm.
and even that falls a little short of everything because it's because of the context, right? It's a whole different type of scenario. But yes, I think this is the first time we've seen it to this degree.
Not even like UFO footage. They don't even care
Oh,
about that. You
mm,
could talk about anything. They don't they're like but you
right.
do this. Oh man, they are on you.
Oh yeah, dude. Like the amount of insanity that's been going on with censorship. You can't have a conversation about something, even a
Mm-mm,
just open conversation of opinion. I'm not stating
mm-mm.
facts, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
say personal truth. That's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It's an experience or perception or it's experience. You
Mm-hmm.
know that what makes someone validated? A piece of paper that says they're certified, or the ones who have experience in it? That's a good question.
People act
So
like people that are quote unquote certified can't be paid off, can't be puppets either. Like, come on.
correct. It goes both ways. So it's
Hmm.
like, in the end, do I trust certain things as far as what comes out of the media? Yes and no. It depends on who the hell's talking. If it's a
Hmm.
politician, you should be questioning everything that comes out of their mouth. I don't give a damn who it
Facts.
is. You,
Facts.
you know, they're salesmen for a pitch. Where's the pitch? You know, and
Hmm.
and and the bottom line is with COVID or with censorship of speech in
Hmm.
general. it's like anything that's opposing of a specific narrative is unacceptable. You're not
Hmm.
allowed. And nobody should be deemed, uh, I don't know how to say it, a domestic terrorist if they are merely just expressing an opinion, not violence, not causing harm, right? To
Hmm.
people, to what is it, life, liberty, property. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They're not doing those things, but they're just expressing an opinion. Does that mean you
Hmm.
go in and ostracize them and then try to say, well, if you're not doing this, you're a horrible person. You don't deserve to buy groceries.
Yeah.
We've heard
Yeah.
that,
It's not.
right?
We're
Oh,
not
God.
talking about someone posting death threats and talking about slicing somebody's family up or being
Mm-mm.
you know extremely racist and all. We're talking about situations where someone has a difference of opinion. They're
Hmm.
just saying, hey, I understand. Hey, just look at it from this point. Look at it from this angle here. You know.
And even if it's a
Um.
controversial angle, it's
Yeah.
okay
Yeah. People are going
as
to
long as
have
you're not
opinions
telling
no
people
matter
to
what.
do something. Right.
Yeah, like I said, you're not if you're not threatening nobody, if you're not, attacking no one, um, everybody's entitled to opinion, whether you agree with that person or not. They're
Hmm.
entitled to their opinion.
Right.
That's the whole point of having free speech. There's been plenty of things I've heard where I don't agree. I'm not gonna, unless somebody's coming at me directly, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, really gonna say much. um because I know that person, just like I have, and we both have that freedom of speech. We should have that freedom of speech,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure there's plenty of times I've said things where people don't agree, and that's okay. But I've never went out of my
Right.
way to attack anybody. I've never went out my way to make threats to someone or anything like that.
Right. Hmm.
um and I think with this is it's gone to the point now where you post any little bit of you know information where you're thinking outside the box, looking at a different point of view, and especially pertaining to what's currently going on, and that will get shut down majority of the time. um and like I said, we both seen channels and stuff get taken down, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Instagram or whatever. So the people are
Right.
trying to having to find these alternatives, um to post whatever, you know. Thankfully, we're still able to come across certain things and able to share and all of that. Um, and even with the podcast we do, we still have to kind of be careful about the
Yeah.
amount of stuff we put out because stuff gets censored. You know,
Oh
we
my
can only
God.
we
Yeah.
can only yeah we can only say so much about a certain topic before it's like, all right, okay, is this going to get taken down, or you know what I'm saying? So.
Right. Because there's stuff that, like, I've wanted to share, but you know, this is all the more motivation to go somewhere else, to put our videos up, which is unfortunate. But that's why we were on SoundCloud for so long. That was a place where we could go and have our podcast, not spread a disinformation, because citations will always be in the description of everything we've ever done. But it's always important to have, okay, well, here's a link to this. This is what this is what we were talking about in conversation, and be able, so that way it's a reliable source. Some cases, you're going to find like will proactively tell you this is yellow press or unconfirmed or just a rumor. But
Hmm.
in the end, we're always going to supply the link to you, and you'll be able to check it out and take a look at it. But that's the important thing, is I see a lot of claims that go out there now. I've listened to doctors on both sides of what's going on with COVID. I've listened to people on both sides regarding what they believe should be censored. And that's just generally, that's with anything. And the censorship started under Trump, but it got hella worse. And it got worse over the 4 years. And now we're at the tail end of it. Now it's like, if they don't like what you're saying, or if you have something that's against whatever guidelines that they've established, whatever the hell that is, pick one, they can change them at any time. You're not really put in a position to be able to share your opinions freely without having to, what's the word, um, condition your language. Oh, well, I can't say it like this, I have to say it another way. And the truth is that I never plan on being monetized, like, ever,
Hmm.
because I
Yeah.
know what the conditions are to be monetized. Um, I don't want to be monetized because I
Yeah.
know what I'm signing up for, and they've been doing this for shit longer than 5 years now,
Yeah.
and they were just starting it before, and it's just started getting worse. And I think COVID has just pushed it. With the pandemic that's going on, that's pushed everything into high gear now because you have more corporations trying to squeeze out different people on the platform, or YouTube is an example, to take that money
Hmm.
and run, because they're like, oh, we'll just push out the creators and we'll put up our own channels, and we're the reliable source. We went to college, um,
Exactly.
bitch, I could say I went to college too, and I did, and I got my degree. What does that mean? Oh, well, you're not that important. You're not on our side of the argument. We've talked about this before. So
Exactly.
and that's the hard part, is you need to be able to have open conversations. That's what having a critical thinking is having uh, someone who has a opinion that's conflicting to your own, right? But when you don't have that, and let's say you just have a echo chamber of the same shit, and that happens in all communities. So whether that's people that are that associate with the left, or people who associate with the right, or even people who associate with that middle ground, we all end up in little echo chambers at some point, but you have to kind of weed through it. Like I see valid points and opinions and perspectives and information on both sides of the argument. Not the extremist crap, because that gets out of control, right? But
Hmm.
in the end, you know, there's a way to come to a middle ground on a lot of topics. And God, we're losing so many opportunities for growth by doing censorship. And I mean, don't get me wrong, there you have your crazies, and I know what that is. I get mad about it, because they don't listen. They don't want to hear anything outside of that echo chamber and their little, I guess, tribal mentality or cult-like behavior, right? They want to stay there. It's comfortable. Yeah, stick it to the man. That's fine. Stick it to the man. You do it safely without violence. That would be preferable. So there's ways to protest censorship that don't involve violence. Um, Peaceful protests do exist, and I'm not talking singing "Kumbaya" and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
but but thinking for yourself is your first step forward, and taking information and looking for validated sources. That pisses me off. How many times have you and I looked at an article and go, damn, that's a really good article, and then there's no citations?
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Plenty of times. And, you know, as you're saying, there's, and the problem is when you have one side doing everything they can to have people go against the other side or vice versa,
Hmm.
that's where, the problem lies, where you can't have that, excuse me, happy medium. Now, does it mean that everybody's like that? No. There's plenty of people that are willing to look at things at a different perspective, and look at both sides. There's plenty of people who, for example, if we're going to talk about, COVID, that have taken a vaccine or whatever, but completely respects the fact if somebody doesn't want to. They don't care, you know, and they're on that. Hey, if this person wants to, they should be able to. If they don't want to, they should be able to make that decision. There should be no negative, uh, comments or pushback towards that person.
Hmm.
And just like if you're looking at, even if it's anything, any topic, whatever, there we should be able to come to a middle ground for most issues, if not all. Last year was a big, in 2019, I should say, was a big big year, when it came to that, especially with everything that was going on with police brutality and what was going on in the black community, and it was causing a rift. Now, granted, the media had a big uh, uh, part of that. But in general, you've seen so much. It brought out a lot in people. Like, I came across people I didn't think were a certain way until something like that happened. Then you
Hmm.
kind of seen the real side of people come out. You're just like, oh, okay. I know I can't mess with you anymore. I can't, we ain't, really can't really be cool like that anymore, but it is what it is. You find out about people. I'm the type of person I'd rather find out about someone, ahead.
Oh yeah.
I'd rather not someone be fake with me. Like, keep it all the way real. Let me know what you really about. I don't want to wait till something goes down and then the true you comes out. So, and just like this, you find out about people in this current situation, and I get, a lot of it I understand is frustration. Um, so ever since COVID started, there's been a lot of people that's been, put in situations where they've lost jobs.
Yeah.
They are homeless. They've been put out of their homes. They've lost their businesses and stuff like their livelihood. And that really, I mean, I can only imagine it's something, especially you work so hard to put together and put all your money into it and was really banking on it to you know have good things come out of it, and then all of a sudden COVID happens and it just
Hmm.
everything gets stripped away from you.
Yep.
So, I definitely understand that. And with that and all these different measures, half the time the CDC don't even, like, they're at this point now where they're just like, shit, I don't know, whatever, like
Yeah. Right. Well,
that's how it feels like. They're like,
hey, if you
yeah,
guys go
whatever.
outside, like,
Yeah.
just
So
get
it's
a fan.
causing, yeah, it's causing more frustration and then causing more division, and it's just causing a big mess. But yeah, this censorship, and I know you have this, you've been
Oh
having
no, I
this
just
for
left
a
it up.
minute.
Hmm.
Um, is a big part of a lot of these issues is this censorship. I'll let you take over with this page because I haven't seen this before.
Yeah, this is called onlinecensorship.org. So if you know, decide you need assistance for something, has your account been suspended? Have you been banned from something? Have you had a post removed? This website is very helpful for all that stuff. So, you know, they have examples here of different stories of people being censored, and this is across the board. For example, as this one says, Twitter has come under fire for suspending accounts that use profanity when engaging with famous users. This is a story here about censorship from Twitter. This one, it says the wrong name. Life is hard when your last name is Butts, but for people with offensive last names, social media can be very hard to access. Civility above all. Women have been suspended from Facebook for calling men scum. So even though this sounds like, oh well, okay, well they name called or whatever, that's, freedom of speech is supposed to protect that, right?
Hmm.
Rules are rules. Facebook apologized to Anne Frank Center after removing an article posted to its page that contained nude images of Holocaust victims. That's called historical stuff. Anyway,
Hmm.
a step too far. Facebook removed the profiles of several top Myanmar officials from its platform and from Instagram in an effort to prevent the spread of, quote, hate and misinformation, which is not true. Introducing offline. People in the marginalized communities who are targets of persecution and violence are using social media to tell their stories, but finding that their voices are being silenced. Um, a couple other headlines here. It says Facebook removed, oh, excuse me, taking a minute. Videos from the Syrian civil war are disappearing from YouTube. Can Silicon Valley companies be trusted with our history? The answer is no. Big Brother on YouTube, the Innocence of Muslims video sparked outrage in some countries, so YouTube independently blocked it in Egypt and Libya.
Hmm.
Too fat for Facebook. Facebook apologized after banning a photo of plus size model Tess Holliday for violating its health and fitness advertising policy. Systematic bias. LGBT plus activists have reported that YouTube is demonetizing certain content, particularly that which contains the word transgender. Abstain from advertising. Facebook ads policies are hurting women's health startups. You're damn right it is. Identity management. In 2018, a German court ruled that Facebook's real name policy is illegal. You know, the one we have to send in our stupid IDs and shit.
Yeah,
So, mhm. And I understand wanting to verify, but we didn't have to supply that when we signed up for the profile to begin with. So it's like, what?
exactly.
But anyway, on this website here, this is their what is online censorship? OnlineCensorship.org seeks to encourage social media companies to operate with greater transparency and accountability towards their users as they make decisions that regulate speech. We seek to shine a light on why companies make certain decisions about content and how content takedowns are affecting communities of users around the world. And here you can submit a report to them, which we're going to click on. We're collecting reports from users in an effort to shine light on what content is being taken down, why companies make certain decisions about that content, and how content takedowns are affecting these communities. So this is a place where you can file a report, and they start basically they're going in their own ways. They have legal teams and people that are available to review this, or you might be contacted. Who knows? But this is the latest news. They have it on this. This is it's been hasn't been updated in a while, but even so, they are located on Twitter and Facebook. I don't see them on Instagram, but I would. This is one thing that you can review for examples. There's also resources about a resource kit for journalists, offline, online, further readings and how to appeal, news and analysis, or you can submit a report. And this is just their frequently asked questions. I thought it was very interesting though, because the online censorship hasn't ended at all. It's gotten worse. And I think it's whether it's the pandemic, whether it's politics, I think this whole thing with Afghanistan is a big one. I'm sorry, I don't have any empathy for Biden. I think I don't care. There we go. I said it. I don't care.
Oh
Um,
yeah, nah. Like I said, these politicians and stuff, all they are salesmen. Like you said, I'm sorry. But yeah, I totally agree. And every time these presidents get up here or whatever, I just look at like Biden. I don't even like his face. Like these how much these how how bad these presidents irritate me. And it, like same story. And but no, this whole thing with Afghanistan is you know um
oh yeah. Hmm.
there we I mean we could if we really wanted to sit here and get a touch on that. It's just it's a very interesting situation. That's just how I'll put it. What's going on over there?
It's
Very
pretty
interesting.
intense over there.
Yeah, I know. I know. When I first heard about it, I heard the president hurried up and dipped up out of there. He was like, "I'm out."
Yeah, you
He
noticed
was
that
like,
he was like abandoned ship.
yep, he fled
Oh,
the
they're in
country. He was
Kabul.
like,
All right, we're out.
yeah, he was like, "I am gone. I'll see y'all later." Left the
and
people.
it's
People just sit there panicking. He's like, "I'm out."
and the thing that's interesting is that like I've talked to a couple people since all this came out, and most people I know are pissed, and they're all over the board politically, meaning they are left, they're right, and they're like, "Here's the deal: there's a proper way of getting this done within the timeline. Biden just chose to wait. He waited
Hmm.
way too long to get this done, and it turned into this panicked escape from Afghanistan scenario where there's still people getting evacuated right now."
Yeah,
And all the incidents that happened at the airport with the plane, it's pretty horrific. And now everything else that's coming to fruition as the Taliban's going through these areas.
yeah,
And women's rights, yeah, yeah. I've seen that. I don't even want to get into that. That's how bad that is. Um, but women, are going to take a hit for this. They're going to be pulled from political positions. That's one, if they have any. And, you know, I watched a video earlier, and it was with the head of the Taliban there, and he was at a hospital where there's female doctors that work there, and he was
hmm,
telling them, "Oh, don't worry, you are our sisters. We won't hurt you," that kind of thing. Um, we want you here, that kind of bullshit. I'm like, yeah, but they're in a position of authority. They're going to be probably put into a different position, have not so much
yeah.
authority. So we'll see what happens with this new form of government. We'll see how it evolves and how it doesn't evolve. We'll say that. But with we should never have been there,
Exact.
and
That's what I was getting ready to say. We should have kept our
never been
asses
there.
out of it. Yeah, shouldn't have been there in the first place.
I mean,
Stop sticking our noses and shit. We don't need to be sticking
how
our
many
noses
fucking
in.
poppies do we really need, CIA? Like seriously,
Exactly.
how many poppies?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. So this is what we're looking at, right? And so this is the
Hmm.
aftermath of it. It's this is all tragic. It's sad, and
Hmm.
we were seen as invaders the moment they never, man,
Yeah.
we never should have been there. We never should
That,
have
that
been there.
we could have a whole podcast on that whole situation itself.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, we are definitely both in agreement. All right, we should have never took our asses over there
No. And my
at
question
all.
now is, how are they going to spin? Say right now that I'm reading the headlines of, I was reading this earlier about Biden's little speech he finally gave, and he didn't take any questions after his little speech either. He just gave a
Hmm.
statement and left, basically, or a
Yeah.
long paragraph statement, whatever you prefer. Um,
Hmm.
and he just said, well, I stand by my decision. Well, good for you. I don't care for your decision, but whatever. I'm not a salesman, so I guess I don't matter. But it's really, really, it's really rough because in the end, a lot of these families are multi-generational. You
Hmm.
got grandfathers, you have sons, and you have grandchildren. You know,
Yeah.
multi generations now, that were under occupation from the United States, and then the Taliban now coming in and doing what they're doing. And it's just, I don't. The media is going to spin this like, oh well, he stands by his decision. He did the right thing. Okay, I remember this bullshit with Bush, and I
Hmm.
remember very distinctly, very, don't you? I mean, I'm sure you remembered in
Hmm.
passing how they defended his idea about going to Iraq because that's where we've been.
Yep.
Well, they have weapons of mass destruction and all
Why
that
are we still
bullshit.
waiting on that?
I think so. Maybe the
Yeah.
Taliban have them now because we left behind a lot of military shit over there in
Yeah.
Afghanistan and drones and a bunch
And
of other
depleted
stuff.
uranium, so we have a lot of babies with defects and stuff when they're
Oh,
born. So
we
yeah,
left so
that
many
too.
goodies over there in Afghanistan. Maybe they have them now.
Yeah.
That'll
Yeah.
be the next thing. Biden's all repeating Bushisms. Well, they got weapons of mass destruction out there in the.
Like, nah, don't start that mess. Nah, we've already been down that road, player. Nah, we're
Mm-hmm.
not going to that again. Man,
Now,
oh
here's a
wow,
question. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, my phone just, but I didn't even, oh wow, there's a big old severe thunderstorm coming through. No wonder
Oh,
I was starting to hear while you're talking, I was listening to the window. I'm like, wow, it's real. So I just checked the weather. I just got a buzz on my phone. But yeah,
oh
I got
shit.
it.
Rain in the desert?
Yeah,
What?
well, in monsoon season. So
That's
actually, like
true.
I said, this year has been we've had more rain than the past couple of monsoons.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, yeah, I know the other night, last night it was raining all night. The other night it was too. Seems like the thunderstorms are coming in the evening time lately, and it'll usually be raining all night. But like my oldest, she's scared of thunderstorms. And she's like, "How come Mother Nature don't understand? I'm scared." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure she does, but I don't think Mother Nature cares." Like, y'all gonna deal with these thunderstorms.
wow. Dude, I'm not surprised, I guess, but
Hmm.
that's some wild shit. Because I mean, monsoon this late at night is unusual.
Yeah, yeah.
At least in Arizona. Usually you get them like late afternoon, like typical summer,
Hmm.
or maybe middle of the day, but
Yeah,
at
yeah.
nighttime it's not very frequent. So you must be getting some stuff in from the Pacific there
I'm not
or the
complaining.
Mexico.
I'm one of the people that like rainy days. I don't know why, but I'm a rainy day person.
Oh, hell yeah. I much
Yeah,
rather have a rainy day any day. But
especially out here
man,
during summer.
it's so here's a question. Do you think, taking a step back a little, but do you think that the reason why they put Biden into office, meaning he got elected and placed in there, because that's who the Democrats decided they wanted, okay,
Hmm.
for their party, was
Hmm.
Uncle Joe. Do you think that it's possible that Uncle Joe was put in there because they knew that all of this crap he was going to be dealing with COVID, he was going to be taking the hits left and right because Afghanistan's a huge hit. No matter what he says, it doesn't matter. It's rough, you know. But do you think it's the setting the precedents for President Harris to come into office? That this
You
is
know,
going to be her
I've
man,
heard about that scenario um from the beginning.
right?
And you know me, I'm like that. You know, anything's possible. Um, kind of. my whole thought process is anything's possible. So yeah, I've definitely heard that scenario. I've heard some crazy scenario. I've heard that Trump would come back, he somehow regain power.
Hmm.
But then I heard, yeah, that one where Harris would end up taking over, something happening to Biden or whatever the case is, where
Hmm.
she ends up taking over. So yeah, I definitely heard that, and it's definitely possible. I don't, you know, feel like, you know, I'm like I said, I'm anything's possible, and there's not a scenario where I'm like, oh no, I don't see that happening.
Right.
I could definitely see something like that happening. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if it does happen. Um,
Right.
because like I said, I've heard about it right when he got elected or whatever.
Absolutely.
Prior to that, so yeah, definitely, I could definitely see that happening.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I don't know. It just, once again, an opinion, but
Hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, they were like, well, his health hasn't been good. Something like that finally comes up.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're going to just restructure and then do a hand down, to Harris. My question is then, who would be her VP? Dun dun dun. I don't know,
Hmm.
but it would be interesting because my
Yeah.
question is, would that person be voted in,
Hmm.
or would that person just be assigned the task?
I forgot how that goes. Like,
Let me look that up while we're sitting
I
here.
guess because
I
I
was
was so
wondering.
I stopped really paying attention 'cause a long time ago when I got disgusted at politics, when I kind of found like researched like all the stuff behind the scenes. I'm like, ugh. So I forgot how that whole um
Is it the Speaker of the House that becomes
something like,
the?
yeah, because I know that, like, if if something happens to the president, vice president takes over. If something happens to the vice president, then I think it's the speaker of the house or whatever that takes over.
Let's see here. All right, I'm fact checking it right now because I don't know.
I'm trying to
Let's
think
go.
because there was a what was that show with Kiefer Sutherland?
Oh, designated survivor.
Yeah, what position was he, speaker of the house, or what position was he where he took
Ah,
over?
I should know this because I watched that show.
Yeah.
Obviously, not close enough. Apologies to Kiefer Sutherland. Oh my.
I just see him as Jack Bauer. That's all. I don't care what anybody says.
You might have been the president, but you'll always be Jack to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not Jack. Stupid fun. Oh no. Let me see here. I found I found this on fact fact factcheck.org. Today, you know what?
Okay.
Language today is not appealing. If a vice president assumes a presidency, who becomes a vice president? The new president appoints someone to fill his or her old position subject to a congressional approval. Okay. So if the president dies, the VP is sworn in. This is the full question. If the president dies and the VP is sworn into as the new president, does the Speaker of the House then get sworn in as the new VP, or is it no official ceremony required? When LBJ was sworn in for JFK, who became that VP? So the full answer is the Constitution specifies that if the president dies or leaves office before finishing his or her term, the vice president takes the job. The only official ceremony required by the Constitution is that any president must take the oath of office. There's the Article 2, Section 1 of the U.S. Constitution. Anyway, if the vice president was unable to, or it was unable or ineligible to ascend into the presidency, or if the office was vacant, the Speaker of the House would be next in line under the terms of the Presidential Succession Act, which was first passed in 1947. However, when the vice president becomes president, the speaker does not move into the office of vice president. The legislation only specifies who is to become president. When the position of vice president becomes vacant, the 25th Amendment states that whenever there is a vacancy in the office of the president shall nominate a vice president who shall take office upon confirmation of majority vote of both houses of Congress. Okay.
So basically, the vice president would say, "Okay, this is who I nominate," and then it has to go through the vote.
Right. So
Okay.
it's as if the vice president is unable or ineligible to ascend to the presidency. That's
That's
when
when
it
the
becomes
Speaker of the House would take over.
Right.
Gotcha.
Okay. So Jack Bauer got to pick his, basically, because he was able to take over the role.
Hmm.
That makes sense because he's in a position of decision making at that point.
I forgot. I didn't really watch the show, but I know like something happened to that. What something happened to where did they get assassinated or something? Like the president and the vice president or something, and then that's when he had to end up taking over.
Yeah. 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 There was basically they bombed, in the show, like they bombed the, yeah, I think they were in the house, uh, doing their swearing in stuff, right? Blah, blah, blah. And it was a bomb that went off and, you know, killed everybody, that kind of deal. And so that's when
Gotcha.
it went to him. So he was, I think he wasn't, because everyone died and it went all the way down to him, because I think he was just like a secretary of agriculture or some crazy shit.
Oh,
Like,
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, because
because
like the whole
yeah,
the whole cabinet or something died, and then he was like
yeah, it
left,
wiped
and he
everybody out, right?
okay,
And he was like,
gotcha.
"What? Agriculture? Wait, I like housing. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want to do this
yeah.
shit."
I never did sit down and watch it. I just knew like the basic premise of the show.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a good show.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, but that I was just wondering that because I was like, "Oh, so it is Speaker of the House, but only if unable or yeah, they're ineligible or unable." So what if the VP got involved in something illegal, like Watergate, for example, along with the
Hmm.
president? Then I could see, okay, would go to the Speaker of the House, and then the Speaker of the House could assign whoever they decided as their VP. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
get it. It all came full circle. We all learned something together tonight. Yay.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Very
man.
interesting. There was I know that we getting to the point where we're kind of winding things down and all that, but and I know we're still on censorship, but I wanted to show this video real
Yeah.
quick
Yeah, let's go
because
for it.
it's pretty crazy. Let me see, let me find it real quick.
No
It's pretty
worries.
crazy, and it falls in the unexplained stuff. So let me
Hey, that's a great way to roll this out.
yeah, there we go right here.
There we go. What is this? What is this? A guy's driving.
Yeah, he's in the woods.
Is there a way to blow up the
It
video a little bit?
huh?
Is there a way to make the video a little bit bigger?
I um
Maybe
no.
zoom in on the screen? I'll see. I
Let
don't
me
know.
see. Oh yeah, actually I could try to do that. You're right.
That's
Let
one
me
way to do it.
yeah, there we go.
Ah, there we go. Attaboy. Stupid ass
Yeah.
computers, man. I had that issue with Instagram videos too.
Yeah.
What is this?
It's just the noises you hear in the back.
Can't hear the noises.
You don't hear nothing?
No, at least I don't. Did you share audio with your
Oh,
share
let me
screen? That might
yeah, I
be it.
thought
Go ahead and X out, and
yeah,
then
let me
you'll see a little checkbox that says share
yeah,
audio.
that was my fault. Yeah, I
No, it's
thought
all
I
good.
did.
I've done that too, so I'm like, oh shit. It was
Let's
very
do this again.
majestic.
Yeah. All right, let's do this again. All right, here we
All
go.
right,
Can you
hold
hear it
on.
now?
Yes.
Cool, cool, cool.
And windows frozen. So damn cold out here. Jump is it? 16. These things freak out when it gets cold like this. Listen to this. Shut my truck off.
What the fuck?
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it seems like when it's there's been a lot of tracks out here.
Oh no, man. See,
Woo!
no. This guy's making me sick with this bullshit.
Like, haven't we watched enough movies
They'll
with
do
this
this
kind
all
of
friggin' night.
scenario?
How do you think I'm gonna go walk in these dark woods? Some Blair Witch bullshit.
What the hell?
What? No, man. No, man.
Something's pissed.
Why don't you go walk in the woods and find out? Sorry, I'm not this person. Oh God. Oh, is this a jump scare? I swear to God, Rich, I'm coming for you. It's not cool.
No.
It's not cool, Rich. You know how I get about this shit.
Now it's just some weird noises.
Just letting you know. That's what really goes on in the woods at night.
I'm
Ain't
gonna
that
go
pretty
walk around the
crazy?
woods. That guy's nuts. Like, what part of you's like, yeah, you know what? I'm hearing this shit out in the field. Why don't I know. I'll go into the thick part of the forest and then look at stuff that's broken and go, that looks mad and pissed off.
Yeah, yeah.
That guy wants to die. What are you
There's enough
doing?
movies out there that explain why that's not a good idea.
Dude, Rich he sends me videos every once in a while. You don't do it consistently enough, right? But you
No.
do it enough where I don't get you catch me off guard though. And he'll send me some random shit with a jump, like some creepy ass shit where there's a jump scare in it, and I
Yep.
threaten his life every time. I'm like, why do you send me this shit? Because like he sent me some crazy shit with it was a video game, wasn't it? The little girl down the hall.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And he sent me that. I was like, "What the fuck, Rich?" And then like, and of course I forwarded on to Squirrel and a couple other people who appreciate the jump scares. I am not that person, and he hears me yell, right? Because I had first watched. He's like, "What are you yelling about?" I'm like, "I'm sending it to you. I'm not watching this again." And so I sent it to him, and he's like, "Oh, that's not bad." See, he's like you. He likes the scary, and the jump scares, and he's like, "That's pretty good." I'm like, "Shut up with your Silent Hill shit." No, no. And this guy walking through the woods. Do you hear that? Oh wow. Let's walk over here. I'm not that
Well, no.
person.
You know,
Hmm.
I, you
It,
know,
you know, it's, I know you. Rich, he finds these things and he's like, "What do you think of this?" Oh.
I
You know,
gotta do jump scares for people to scare everybody.
and he scared the hell out of me a couple of times. There was something else. I don't remember. I couldn't unsee it. I can't remember what it was right now.
Hmm.
Mm,
You know, there was a game I know where, totally about to shut down, but there is a game that I played, and I wish they would do a remastered version of it. It was called Fear,
oh
and it was
yeah.
you seen you do you know what I'm talking about? That little girl.
Yes.
It was a first person shooter game, and you were part of this squad that was like going in to find out what was going on, these paranormal crazy activities going on, and all it was caused by this little girl. And boy,
Mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm. Nope.
and what made the game worse was it was a first person shooter game. And so there was thing, and I would show gameplay, but the graphics are so old now. I mean, it was like it came out for like PlayStation 2 and 3 and Xbox 360.
Oh God.
But yeah, Fear. People who played that game, they know what's up. Um,
Mm-mm.
I think they made three of them. They made three Fear games, and I think they made like another some. I don't know if they made one for the PlayStation Portable or PlayStation Vita. Um, but yeah, Fear was a crazy, and I could deal with a lot. But when I first played that game, I played it like what games like that I'll play in the dark.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. That's
but
because
that
you
game,
guys are kind of morbid.
yeah.
Mhm.
So like, for people who
Yeah.
don't know, I'm gonna share a picture of the poster, little video game cover.
Oh yeah.
That little girl was crazy. There
Mm-mm.
was things in there. I man, man,
And
there were scenes in there, things in that game where you're like, what the
see, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
Uh,
why people like that nightmare fuel. I don't know what's
well,
wrong with these
it's
people.
just like Silent
Mm,
Hill. Like I love the whole Silent Hill franchise. That oh man.
dude,
Oh
we, man, I can't even handle this. The next episode that we do, we should probably talk about creepy shit. Um,
oh yeah.
we've been
Plenty
long
plenty of stuff
overdue.
on that. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
black-eyed children and humanoid stuff. Like,
Oh yeah. Plenty of
there's
crazy footage we could find on that. Now, yeah, we definitely can do that.
and current stuff too. I mean,
Yeah.
there's this. Let me show this to you really quick. I know we're still on, but I want to show it to you because I thought it was really cool. I found this interactive map on someone
Mhm.
had put together, and this is reported sightings and encounters of different objects. So, like
Oh
bat-like
wow.
object witnessed over Chicago. This is over like Michigan and Chicago. So all these numbers here are reports.
So I see you know what that automatically makes me think of?
Hmm.
The what was it, the bat winged humanoid?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The Mothman.
Mm-hmm. And that's Rich and I have had so many talks about the
Yeah,
Mothman,
oh man.
dude.
Oh man.
So I was like, this would be awesome. But yeah, this
Mhm.
is one of the maps. It's just tracking different accounts and stories out of these areas and sightings that
Mhm.
showed up in that area. And I was like, that's pretty cool. But I know that this is for whatever reason a hotbed, and there's obviously something related to the water. It's
Oh
always
yeah.
related to the water.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But
It's
anyway,
great, like the crazy sightings you'll see like on the East Coast and Midwest, stuff like that. A lot of
hmm
those crazy. I mean, of course, out here towards the west, of course, Nevada gets a ton of stuff. Um, Arizona, parts of Arizona, especially like the rural areas, maybe up north and stuff. Of course, Cali, but like back east and up north and all that. Yeah, that's where like all they get like all the crazy stuff.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. I think, yeah, dude. Like, there's hot spots and like what is it, Skinwalker Ranch stories. There's a lot of
Yeah.
cool shit.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think the one that I'm like the most interested in is like the
Mhm.
black-eyed children shit.
Oh yeah, I've read.
That
Oh man, I've heard some stories about that. I'm like, man,
I'm telling you right now, if I saw this little kid with black eyes, I'd be like,
yeah,
nah.
that's like some almost some Children of the Corn type stuff right there, man.
Exactly. Like, you're not gonna see me walking through a field to go talk some children. No, it's cool.
Like,
No, it's
nah, I'm
right.
good on that.
I'd be like,
Yeah,
you
I'll
got
go ahead
something
and
wrong
have
with your
fun.
eyes. I'll call you an ambulance or something.
Yeah, you
You
wait
know?
out here. Now you ain't coming in the house, player.
No, it's like a
Not at
vampire.
all.
You're not welcome here. No.
Nah, nope.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, no, definitely we gotta do that on the next episode. Of course, always like to thank everybody who's tuned in and took the time out their day or night to support us and take a listen. And whether you agree with our opinions, our views, doesn't matter. You took the time out of your day to listen to us, and we appreciate it. But of course, we will still be dropping some heat. By now you should know by now if you listen. I got my handles UND Game or Die on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter. Girl stuff. Oh, speaking of the girls, now I I took your idea about creating that link tree.
Oh great. Yeah.
So I did that. I did that and real quick before we shut down. I did that
No.
real quick and I created theirs and I've been working on their little store. I think I showed you the link. Yeah, I showed you it.
Yeah, you got some
Put
new stuff in there.
Yeah, I've been working on their store and just like getting ideas and see because my whole thing is like I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for them so
hmm
they can uh, be good. All they got to do is worry about putting out content. Um,
Right.
and
That way
I
they
just
have a good running start, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So I just been working on that for them and just getting all the stuff behind the scenes underway and whatever ideas they have for designs, I just added to it and just start working on it and all that and but yeah, no, that was a good idea about doing that whole link tree thing.
It's so much easier. Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
send me the link for that, and hopefully you got one set up for yourself too. Send me the link to that, and I'll make sure it's because I have all the links, but they're all separated right now. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. No,
the
I
link tree,
definitely.
if for those who don't know, the link tree is just one link to everything in the, I guess, tree of links. So, um, for Rich, he would have his YouTube channel,
Hmm.
um, his Twitter account and his Twitch, things like that. And then the girls would be the same way for their channel. And so
Yeah,
it's just one link for all of those access points. So that, like I have a link tree also, and it's really easy. It's so much, it saves a lot of time. So if you want to be able to save a page with all the links to a certain individual, this is the best way to do it. So highly recommended.
exactly. Yeah.
I'll have the link tree links in the description box for those who are listening right now. Yeah.
And I, I thought I was gonna stream this weekend, but I wanted to wait because um the Avengers game, they're dropping the Black Panther expansion at midnight. So I'm waiting on that because I wanted to stream that, and I was gonna download and update that. So I'm trying to stay up until midnight, which is about a little bit over 30 minutes. Oop, I hear some thunder. A little bit over 30 minutes. I'm away, and I wanted to download the that expansion to stream that. A lot of people, everybody's been waiting. Um, for that game. So I'll be streaming probably. I don't know if I can hold off until I'll probably stream a little bit before I work. I don't know. If I'm up to it, I might even do it some late night streaming. I don't know yet, but don't hold me to it. But I will. I'm going to be streaming the Black Panther expansion of the Marvel's Avengers game and
So
stuff.
for
So
people
yeah.
listening, uh, Rich, he will stream pretty consistently. Even if it's a late night stream, you can catch it later. His gaming stuff and things like that. Eventually, we'll be moving over the Glitch Paradox to its own YouTube channel, which we have set up. But I just wanted
Mm.
to leave it on here for now, just so hey, we can chill and hang out and create content, and we'll be able to mismatch over to the other YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Um, Yes, but for now, it's just to kind of establish an audience and be like, "Hey guys," because I have a lot of people that found my channel this way, and they're like, "Oh, you talk about crazy shit." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what we
Yeah,
do."
yeah, and it's good because we originally were doing it on
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. Yeah,
Hmm.
and I think this is a lot easier to do it on YouTube because there'll be a podcast where we do like the video. You'll be able to see our faces, and then
Right,
a
right.
podcast like this where we're like, you know what, we don't feel like getting all beautiful and stuff for the camera here. You hear our voices, So, and that it makes it easier to just set it up and do it
Right.
that way. And but yeah, once we get the channel um going for the Glitch Paradox podcast, and we're right now we're just building up content,
Yeah,
and so
we'll
once
move.
we're good to go, move everything over there. So y'all kind of already have for people who've missed out on previous podcasts, they got one central place to go to, and or listen to all the other ones. So yeah, definitely.
I think it'll work out too, because the next episode would definitely do more spooky stuff. This one was like, because we
Yeah.
got so fed up with the censored crap, and it was just like, you know what? Can't really have a conversation, can't really
Hmm.
discuss this without expressing an opinion. Okay,
Yeah.
this is, whatever information we do share, we always link it. It's always in the description. I want to make sure that those references are in there so that you too can look at the information from a reliable source. It's not just us. If it's an opinion, you're going to know it's an opinion, you know?
Yeah.
We encourage people to make their own decisions, well educated decisions, no matter what that decision is. If it's for or against anything, just make sure you have the right information, not hearsay, not rumor, not fear, um, but something that is not manipulative, no matter what side it comes from, that it's something that you've made on your own for your own situation. And I'm fully supportive of anybody who wants to make those decisions, as long as you're not witch hunting anybody.
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
there needs to be a peacefulness in the world. There really, and it starts
Exactly.
with us and having an open forum of discussion that's safe for everybody to have that conversation. I don't have time for that bullshit. I don't think anybody really has the time right now for that. If you have time
Mm-mm.
for that level of bullshit, you need a better hobby. You really do. And
Exactly.
you really do. And there's a ton of hobbies in the world that need your effort. And this
Yeah.
is not, you know, I think censorship is dangerous. I think it can create a lot of problems down the road. It all seems good for feelings right now, but down the road it'll come to snap you in the face too. It all goes full circle, and I think inexperience is what causes that ignorance. So with experience and time, you'll realize not all things, not all that's gold glitters is gold. You know what I'm saying? But
Exactly.
but yeah.
But I know you that are you still planning? I know you had another movie review that you were gonna.
Oh, yeah. I'm supposed to record sometime this week, because of school starting for myself here with the
Hmm.
small squirrels. It's a little dysfunctional.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
we're just making the final adjustments. So I'll probably have the movie review probably out more next week than it will be this week because it got delayed. It's a little
yeah.
wacky right now.
No,
But
I
other than
definitely
that,
understand.
yeah, I've just been kind of chilling. I know probably be on the late show on Friday night on Zod's channel. He'll be doing his late night talks with PB, and probably on Saturday, I believe. I hung out a little bit on Sunday night, but not very long at all, actually. I popped in and out just because, well, I had got locked out of the small squirrel's computer because she locked herself out of it.
Oh wow.
Dude, I I don't understand these squirrels putting, I'm like, what are you hiding on here that you need a password? The
No,
computer's not going
nothing.
anywhere.
Like nah, you
Uh-huh.
hiding something.
Exactly. So I had to go through there with a fine tooth comb. I didn't find anything, but I was like, what are you doing? You know. So
Some ain't right here.
she had to reset her password twice. I'm like, you're killing me. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, take it off. So I had to be all like mom squirrel and like, don't do that. Blah, 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 blah. So, anyways,
Wow.
but yeah, gotta love the squirrels. But anyway, that's all that's going on here for me. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Well, again, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and will tune in. We'll be back again, but yeah, definitely going to do another next episode on the unexplained, the paranormal, the strange sightings and craziness going on.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I think I might contact someone else too to join us and see if they'd
Okay,
like to sit here and go over crazy shit.
I'm all
Because that's
for it.
always fun. You know, I like. Oh man, we need to get back in touch with Chris too at some point in the future.
I just
Get
talked
him.
to him the other day.
Oh, did you? That
Yeah,
guy right there. That guy.
uh,
He's so awake. You don't know what day it is. That's how awake he is. You
yeah,
know?
exactly.
Oh man. All right. All
All
right.
right, but
That's
yeah,
all.
no, again, we appreciate it, and we'll be back again. And we'll be dropping this soon, so be on the lookout. Till then, we're out.
Have a good day and night to anybody out there. See you later.